from the best. Visit AfricanSummit2013.com to book your tickets now or call 0860 022 175.
Power Lunch, brought to you by Altec. Leading technologies, touching lives.
Welcome back. You're watching Power Lunch. Well, the Gauteng Liquor Act stipulates that alcohol will not be sold on Sunday from establishments such as bottle stores, sporting venues and restaurants as well. Here for a look at what this could mean for business and how it could be implemented is Adrian Botha. He's from the Association for Responsible Alcohol Use. Adrian, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Well, let's at the top take a look at your stance on the matter. Pro or anti?
We are pro any effective means of reducing alcohol abuse in our country. However, we don't believe that a Sunday ban will have any of the positive impact that the Gauteng government hopes to achieve, and at the same time will firstly really increase the illegal trade, which is already the majority of it will certainly damage the commercial trade, the normal legal trade, you know, restaurants, hotels, with a similar impact on tourism.
So what is government hoping to achieve with this coming to the fore, and why Sundays?
Exactly. The parts of government and certain of the NGOs believe that reducing availability automatically equals reduce abuse, and this is not the case. I mean, it will actually exacerbate abuse in a couple of ways. Let me give you one quickly. Gauteng's a tiny province. Can you imagine everybody getting into their cars on a Sunday and shooting over to Mpumalanga or to Northwest or wherever?
Which begs the question then why Gauteng has been targeted and not Cape Town, where Lindsay is.
Well, absolutely. You can't. And the thing is, too, it's not a national government competence, this type of thing. It is a provincial government competence, as proven in the Constitutional Court. So it is up to each province to do it. And you can imagine everybody screaming across borders in cars to go to restaurants, etc., in other provinces.
Adrian, I don't think that's going to happen, of course. I mean, in the UK, for example, people jump on ferries maybe once every 6 months and stock up with cigarettes, or they used to anyway, and booze. The why Sunday question is a very interesting one from Alicia, and you didn't really answer it. Why Sunday? Is this rooted in Christianity? And if it is, then I'm sorry, but this is completely implausible.
Absolutely correct. I'm sure that it is rooted in that. I'm sure that because years ago in South Africa we did have a ban on the sale of alcohol on a Sunday, and I presume that they've just chosen this again. But you're absolutely quite right. We're in the current South African society, why not pick a Monday? It's not the bottom line.
Well, Monday, sorry, Adrian, Monday's a much more logical day, because on a Monday, presumably, let's generalise here, people are working. They're not going to go out at lunchtime and buy a bottle of wine or a six-pack of beer or something. So,
right.
so I mean, I've had this situation where there's a wine shop that is open at the V&A waterfront at the moment.
Yes. And
this person is closing down because she thinks that the Gauteng Liquor Act will be extended to Cape Town. She says that the V&A is a ghost town from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday is when she does her business, but mainly a Sunday. And she exports a lot to people that come off cruise liners. Immediately, I can see the economic impact.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt about it. It'll have a huge economic impact without fixing the problem. We do have, I think it's something like 70% of all the beer sold in South Africa is actually sold through illegal outlets. So they will boom. I mean, it's as simple as that, whereas your legitimate businesses, and particularly in terms of tourism, in terms of employment of waiters, of people in restaurants, etc., will clearly be impacted.
While it is, the permitting of sale of alcohol on a Sunday, or the no sale of liquor on a Sunday that's actually caused this uproar, there's quite a list of other regulatory things that we've got to look at when it comes to this regulation being passed. Application for renewal each year with the possibility of that being refused. BE requirements, more complicated plans and municipal requirements, which makes a new application more expensive and delayed. I mean, overall, we're looking at a very complex list looking to be passed here.
Yes, absolutely, Alicia. I think there are two things here. The first is, yes, liquor should be regulated. We're not saying it should be unregulated. That's absolutely correct. However, what we should be trying to do in South Africa is to try to bring those illegal outlets into the legal framework. Now, if you make it more difficult for people to actually obtain licenses, then the number I hear is 200,000 odd shebeens across the country will have no incentive to actually become part of the formal trade.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian, just have a look back at history. Look at prohibition in the United States. What did that do? It drove everything underground. I'm not saying that there immediately will be a whole illicit liquor trade and bars suddenly springing up in people's basements and things and serving customers on a Sunday. But what it will do is it will concentrate people, for example, on a Saturday. They say, well, I can't go out and have some wine with my meal on a Sunday, so let's stock up on the Saturday. And it's just going to cause all sorts of problems. And I think the fundamental question is, where did this come from and why?
We actually don't know, Lindsay. As if you actually have a look at the regulations, it's quite strange. You know, you've got this whole long, as Alicia was saying, complicated regulation, and then right at the end of Schedule 3, there's one little line in bold print saying no liquor on Sundays. So it's actually quite strange. We're not sure where it came from. But clearly, we don't even have to start an illegal trade like what happened in the United States. We already have it, so it's already there. So you're absolutely spot on. I mean,
of course, on this long list as well, we've got new trading hours that are looking to be enforced as well, which could well have implications. We've got the public now having 12 days to comment. I mean, how disputable is this? To what extent would the public be able to change this moving forward before it actually becomes law?
Well, we are hopeful that listening to the various organizations that have already made submissions, that the Gauteng government will take that on board and have a look at the reality of it. I mean, it would have been an absolutely wonderful opportunity for them. In Gauteng, off sales were banned on a Sunday, if you can recall. Then they were allowed. Now, the first thing I would do if I was a government here, I would get research to have a look at what was the difference. Was there any impact with that opening of Sunday sales? And certainly, I've seen, in terms of trends of alcohol abuse, I've seen no increases.
Adrian, just to summarize this and to give your final thoughts, are you going to be, is your organisation going to lobby against this? Are restaurant owners associations and all sorts of other people that are inextricably linked the potential detrimental effects of this potential act? I mean, are you going to get together? Are you going to lobby? Or is this just going to go through, do you think?
No, we certainly will all make submissions. Clearly, that's an important way of doing it. And we are hopeful that that they will consult before a final decision is taken, because in summary, it's not going to have the desired effect and will have a lot of unintended negative consequences.
Well, we'll see how this all plays out. Adrian, thanks so much for having joined us at the desk this afternoon. Adrian Botha is from the Association for Responsible Alcohol Use. In the meantime, Consulting Engineers South Africa delivered a presidential message earlier today, with the key question being whether President Jacob Zuma is to blame for corruption in South Africa. As part of the presentation, they emphasized how much corruption is paralyzing the country and hindering its progress. We're joined in studio now by Naren Bojaram. He's president at the Consulting